Hey, what's going on YouTube? Gary here, GZ Duels, here to bring you guys a deck profile, the updated deck profile for, this is July 2013, and I made a whole bunch of changes to this deck simply because I've been playing with Prophecies and I've been learning from it. Because Prophecy changed the way they play, I have to change the way that I play against them. So, here are the changes that I came up with. Without further ado, let me just get into the deck profile. For the monsters, we have 2 Effect Veiler, 1 Madolche Croissant, 3 Madolche Hoop Cake, 3 Madolche Mageline, 3 Madolche Messengelado, 3 Madolche Mew, 2 Maxi, 3 Swift Scarecrow, 1 TG Striker. Why wouldn't they put TG Striker at 3? Just, alright, I'll talk about that later. 3 TG Warwolf, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Double Summon, 1 Heavy Storm, 2 Madolche Chateau, 2 Madolche Ticket, 3 Mystical Space Typhoon, 2 Pot of Duality, 1 Reinforcement of the Army, 2 Royal Decree, and 1 Ultimate Offering. For the extra deck, 1 Barkion, 1 Beast, Direwolf, Cowboy, Gemini Pearl, Excalibur, Levier, 1 MX Saber Invoker, 2 Madolche Queen Tiramisu, 1 Maestroke, 1 Shockmaster, Acid Golem, Black Ship of Corn, and Zenmaze. For the side deck, we changed it a lot. 3 Drone Lockbirds, 3 Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer, 2 Snowman Eater, 1 Royal Decree, the third one, of course 3 Soul Drain, and 3 Threatening Roars. Alright, let me talk about the changes in the main deck first, and then I'll talk about changes in the extra deck, and then I'll talk about the changes in the side deck. The changes in the main deck are pretty straightforward. I put in 2 Effect Veilers because I feel like it's better against Prophecy, against Dragons, against, things like Ophion as well sometimes. To have Effect Veiler first turn, that'd be really cool, because when Prophecy player goes Spellbook Magician, you can Veiler that. When the Dragon player goes Dracosack, and I want to use Dracosack's effect to special summon 2 tokens, you can Veiler that as well. And even for Ophion sometimes, if you have the Dark Hole in your hand as well, which is pretty rare, but if that happens, what you can do is, when your Ophion's activating its effect to try to add the Infestation Pandemic to try to save itself, you can use Effect Veiler on that. That would still be alright, but I wouldn't suggest you to play Effect Veiler against Evil Swarms. It's just not very worth it, I guess. So Effect Veiler's in here because, it's good against the meta. Also, since it's a hand trap, it goes to the graveyard. It gives me the target to banish for Hoop Cake's effect. So that's that for Effect Veiler. I ran it at 2. I tried it at 3 too much. There was a hand where I drew into 2 Maxis and 2 Effect Veilers and like a field card. And I was like, oh my god, how am I going to play out of this? I did play out of it though because, I had Maxi. So it was alright. Okay, so moving on to the next change, of course, I put in Double Summon. I took out one of the Tenkies, the Fire Formation Tenki. Double Summon is really good. It serves, in my opinion, dual purposes. The first purpose is that cute little combo, you can do with Madolche Mageline, Normal Summon Mageline, search for Mageline, play Double Summon, Normal Summon the second Mageline, use the second Mageline's effect to search for something like Hoop Cake or search for something like Mew. That's still pretty good. Also, the other purpose I find with Double Summon is this. If you have Double Summon and your opponent's playing Prophecy and they went turn 1 Jowgen plus Fate set on the field and plus Wisdom set on the field, what you can do is you can normal summon one of your Madolche monsters, say you normal summon Mageline, and then you use Mageline's effect to search for another Mageline. Your opponent cannot Fate the Mageline right now. Even if they do it, it's useless. So you activate Double Summon, and then you normal summon the Mageline again, use Mageline's effect to search for another Madolche monster. Sorry if you hear the construction noises in the background. It's really annoying. Sorry about that. So you have the second Mageline. Now if you attack with one Mageline, your opponent has to Fate the Mageline with the Spellbook of Fate, right? But then you'll have another Mageline with 1,400 attack at least to attack over the 1,300 defense Jowgen. So you'll get rid of that Jowgen, and you didn't really minus that much because you moved the deck, you shrunk the deck by 2 cards. That's the first thing. You shrunk the deck by 2 cards, and you got to search out for your Hoop Cake, and it's really good to just for getting rid of Jowgen. So, Double Summon is really good. I don't think Double Summon can completely replace Ultimate Offering, like I said in a previous video. Ultimate Offering plus Madolche Mageline is like GG, but like Double Summon plus Madolche Mageline is like, oh, that's pretty cute. Okay, the last change I made, I took out the second Tenki and I put in a Reinforcement of the Army. I like Reinforcement of the Army only a bit, but I still like it in this prophecy format. It's not bad. Reinforcement Army gives me three things. Reinforcement Army, first of all, can get me the Striker. So there are two ways for me to get access to TG Striker. And I sometimes might really need the TG Striker against like a deck who plays a lot of spells. Prophecy. Or I can use, the Reinforcement Army to fetch for a Madolche Messengerado. Some of you may be asking like, well, why would you even want Messengerado in your hand? It's pretty bad, right? You want it in your deck, and you want to search it out, special summon it out with, things like Madolche Hootcake. But people forget, before Madolche Hootcake was released, Madolche Messengerado plus Madolche Mew was actually a power play of the deck. If you had Madolche Mew and then you special summoned out Messengerado, you can search out for something. Or, since you had TG Werewolf, you can normal summon Mew, special summon out the Messengerado, and then you can special summon out the TG Werewolf. And you would have gotten a search off the Messengerado, you would have searched Ticket, play the Ticket, and then you can overlay the Werewolf plus the Mew, and then you would have gotten into Invoker. Invoker gets you another, Messengerado, and then you can go into your Tiramisu. So there's another way to play the Invoker Tiramisu combo. So like, why wouldn't you, want to have, say, like one Messengerado in your hand? It really helps move the deck sometimes when you don't have Madolche Hootcake. So it's not bad. Third of all, this is really good because it gets me access to TG Striker, and sometimes I don't really want TG Striker, I actually want TG Werewolf, but as you know, the TGs have synergy within themselves. When a TG monster is destroyed, during the end phase you can search for a TG monster with a different name than the TG monster that was destroyed, and you can search it to your hand. So what I can do sometimes, this is what happens when I, play too much Madolches. When I see Mageline and Ticket and TG Striker, I immediately think TG Werewolf, Hootcake, and Mew. Here's how. I normal summon out the Mageline. The Mageline will search for Mew. And then I'm going to play the Ticket, so that when the Mageline dies, which eventually it will, I can search out for the Hootcake. So I have two of those pieces. And I special summon out the TG Striker, so when that dies, I can search the deck for TG Werewolf. So at the end of the day, with this three cards that I've begun with, I can end up with TG Werewolf, Madolche Mew, and Madolche Hootcake, and with that, you know how broken the deck can go. So, getting quick access to something like TG Striker is like another way of getting out TG Werewolf. So that's why I play this. I don't necessarily like it that much, but it's helpful. It's more helpful than Tenki, which just searches for TG Werewolf. Okay, so in the extra deck, I play one Barkion. I put back the Barkion for two reasons. One, since I have more access to TG Striker, I thought, why not? If you have a 2,500 attack monster that can negate traps, seriously, that can negate traps, right? So, why wouldn't you play it? And it's special summon outable, and it's pretty good. And plus, the second reason is I can't afford another MX Saber Invoker. It's like, what, $25, $30? So I was like, yeah, I'll just settle for like the $10 Manchuria Barkion. That's good for me. That's alright with me. And lastly, I want to talk about the side deck, which I made a lot of tweaking after playing Prophecy. Of course, the 3 Droll and Lockbirds, I was thinking of taking out 2, but it totally defeats the purpose of Droll and Lockbird. The purpose of Droll and Lockbird is to draw at first turn so that when they go Judgment and they go Spellbook of Secrets, you're like, okay, Droll and Lockbird that. Alright, I'm safe. But then if you play it at 2 or if you play it at 1, the chances of you drawing it out first turn really slim, and there's no point in having it later on in the game. So you really want Droll and Lockbird as much as you want. And also the 3 Kaiku. The 3 Kaiku is perfect against Prophecy. I was playing a person who was playing Constellars against me playing Prophecy on Dueling Network on a match, and what ended up happening was, he summoned out Kaiku, and I was like, alright dude, like, I can't get rid of that Kaiku except for 2 ways. Get a Star Hall and try to stack counters on the Star Hall, or try to get a Spellbook of Power. But he played back row as well. He had things like Mirror Force. He had things like Magical Cylinder. He had Magical Cylinder. And I was like, alright, it took a while for me to get rid of his Kaiku. So I thought about it, and I was like, if Madolche started playing Kaiku, plus I had a double summon, I could just keep having the Kaiku on the field and just do the regular stuff that I would normally want to do. So Kaiku is definitely good. Kaiku is also good against dragons. Some people forget, dragons remove cards from the grave in order to special summon, in order to do all the shenanigans. Yeah, Kaiku gets rid of that too. So it's definitely a good choice. The third thing I changed, of course, is the 3 Threatening Roar. I added those in just to add protection to the Kaiku, first of all. Second of all, just to, depending on how many I side in against a deck that is faster than me, maybe, that can try to OTK me before I can OTK him, I might want that extra added protection in order to protect my field, so that, once I have the full setup with, the first wave of the 3-wave combo, I can have a Threatening Roar so that my opponent cannot just get rid of the whole field by attacking into it. So yeah, I put 3 Threatening Roar. Also, I've had plays where, since I sided in Kaiku against the Prophecy player played his own Kaiku, and then he played Spellbook of Power. Before entering battle phase, I chained Threatening Roar, and so that Spellbook of Power was null and void because he didn't attack into my Kaiku. And next turn, when it's my turn, I have some way of getting rid of the Kaiku, possibly maybe attacking into it with Dancing Gelato under the field card or whatever, and that was really good for me. So, if you guys have any questions about this deck, maybe that one question that really gnaws at my head, since the Number Hunter came out, that card, the Crazy Box, the rank 4 exceed 3000 attack Dark Monster, it could be potentially used in this deck, especially, you can use Eradicator Epidemic Virus or Deck Devastation Virus against your opponent. But I thought about it and I was like, it's not that useful. Other than that card, there is no other dark target, and yes, there is no other dark target in the main deck or in the extra deck that is a target for Eradicator Virus. And if I were to play that, I would have to side deck 3 Eradicator Epidemic Viruses. Side deck 3, okay? And also I have to play that main deck, in the extra deck, I have to play the Crazy Box, which I don't even have right now. And I think it's going up for a pretty hefty price depending on the hype that people give it. So I thought about it, I was like, I'll just settle for the Interior Barkion. It's like a poor Yu-Gi-Oh player's way out of the meta. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave in the comments. Of course, this is not the final version of Madolches. I will keep tweaking it, especially when September rolls around and the ban list changes right before the YCS. I'm hoping that they hit Prophecies. I'm hoping that they hit the meta decks enough so that Madolches will even have a better chance at winning the YCS. So if you guys have any suggestions, feel free to drop in the comments as well. But other than that, hope you enjoyed this video. This is Gary GZ Duels signing out.